And hello everybody, this is PK Yu-Gi-Oh! Welcome to the channel. It's good to have you. So today, this was a request from a viewer of my OCG Naturia deck profile. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. I showcased a OCG deck profile for Naturia. It's a deck that you can expect to be a solid contender come Darkwing Blast and more importantly Majesty Mavens. Shoutouts to Alex Yu-Gi-Oh! For the idea. So I'm going to go a little bit over certain combos, if you want to call them that, and show some test hands for Naturia. So a few things to note. This video is recorded after the October ban list, so there are a few changes from the list that I showed and the list that I'm currently running right now. The main differences is I cut Keldo to 1 because Keldo went to 1. Orange Light is now at 1, and I added a third Kajak Fenrir. So with that in mind, I'm going to show off, well, first these 4 cards. So these 4 cards are, some of them are arguably the most important. The Vernal Souls are a little bit different. These are searchers, but they have a wide variety of monsters that they can search. So I want to go over like what is probably good to grab with them. More importantly though, I want to go over these two, Mole Cricket and Sacred Tree. So in the last video, I said that the Quick Play spell Naturia Spring Breeze is a 1-card Naturia Beast. That is wrong. Cricket is a 1-card Naturia Beast. So a very simple combo to do with Cricket just by itself is your normal Cricket, activate its effect, tribute it off to summon Naturia Camellia. This is a level 4 plant tuner. When it's summoned, I send a Naturia card from deck to grave. I send Sacred Tree. Now Sacred Tree is going to activate, and I'm going to add a Naturia card. So I'm going to add Spring Breeze. Activate Spring Breeze. I can summon a Naturia from hand or grave. I'm going to bring back the Mole Cricket. And then I have level 4 tuner, level 1 non-tuner. I have Naturia Beast. Not only that, now Cricket's going to trigger because it's in the graveyard and I summon a Naturia from my extra deck. I get it back. Now, on the opponent's turn, depending on what they do, I have a couple options with this Mole Cricket. So what I can do is, if they somehow get a monster that is bigger than Naturia Beast on the board, not that hard to do, but it's not too hard to do, but not common. You can activate Mole Cricket and summon 2 Naturias from your deck because they have a monster with the highest attack on the board. That's best case scenario. Best case scenario, they have a monster. They have a monster with over 2200 attack. You activate Mole Cricket and you can summon 2. You want to summon specifically Naturia Camellia and Naturia Sunflower. Now, if you don't know what Sunflower does, Sunflower says when your opponent activates a monster effect, you contribute this card and 1 Naturia monster to negate the activation and if you do for that monster. That's all well and good. Camellia has an effect that says, if you attribute a monster to activate a Naturia monster effect, you can send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard instead. Sunflower is not once per turn, because at the time this card was printed, there was no way to keep the Sunflower on the board. But now there is. So you can get 2 triggers off of this 1 Sunflower. Now Camellia's going to trigger on Special Summon. We're going to send, doesn't really matter what we send. Probably want to send another Sacred Tree to grab Spring Breeze. You want to keep Spring Breeze on you at all times. This card is amazing. Now, so what do you have here? You have this board is very easy. 2 monster negates and unlimited spell negates. That's great. That said, let's say your opponent does not get a monster with over 2100 attack, or sorry, 2200 attack, and you have the Mole Cricket. In that case, you can just use Mole Cricket to summon Camellia, and then Camellia sends Sunflower. You could do that. Camellia says, when your opponent, or if your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you can bring back a Naturia from your graveyard. So, if they summon a monster here, you can just bring back the Sunflower, and you have the same board. That's a little more vulnerable to disruption, so keep that in mind. That's just a simple combo you get off of a Mole Cricket. Off of a single Mole Cricket, you get this. So that's probably like the most balls to the wall combo that you can do in Naturia without getting insane mills off of the Ishizu cards. The last thing I want to talk about is these 2, the Vernal Souls. So if you don't know what this one does, I believe this is Vernal Sylph of the Flowers and Awakening. No, this is like the Flourishing Fields or whatever. And this one is, I have no idea because I can't read that kanji. Anyway, name will be on screen. So she can search or if you don't know what she does, she can discard herself and either a Vernal Sylph card or another monster, and add a Vernal Sylph card from deck to your hand, and then summon summon an Earth from your graveyard. The duck searches an Earth Fairy instead, but has the same summon Earth from grave. Both of them block you into activating Earth monster effects for the rest of the turn. Now, these cards are really good come late game, where you're just discarding stuff and you have a lot of Earth monsters in your graveyard. You just bring them back. But mainly, what do you want to search with these new cards? So for me personally, assuming I don't have anything else, I want to search this card. This is Vera, the Vernal Sylph Goddess. Now, this is probably because I don't want to draw her. This is a brick. In the sense that you don't want to draw her, but if you see her in your opening hand plus a Vernal Sylph, that's honestly not that bad. She does require a bit of field setup, so if you don't know what she does, I can target a monster my opponent controls, take control of it, and it becomes an Earth monster. It's permanent and it does negate effects. Once per my opponent's turn, I can target a Earth in my graveyard, summon it, does not negate effects, and then if I have 5 more Earth monsters and my opponent's monster effect resolves, I can negate the activation, and if I do destroy it, that effect does not activate. But it is once per turn. So I generally speaking want to discard her to search this, and then again an Earth back. If you open her, this isn't bad, because if you have it on the Vernal Sylph, you just discard the Vernal Sylph plus Vera to search, in this case, and then the Vernal Sylphs allow you to summon back the monster you discard or themselves, or just anything from the grave. So you can discard, in this case, I can just discard, search an Earth Fairy, and then get her back. Now, I believe the point of this card is to search Vera, but generally speaking, you want to search for... Generally speaking, you want to go... I like to go for Agito because I only play 1, and if I'm able to trigger Agito's milling effect, I have a better chance of hitting a Kelback, because I play 3 Kelback. Other options, depending, is you maybe want to search Keldeo or Mudora if you have the monsters to discard, but it's not ideal. Honestly, Keldeo and Mudora, you really don't care about their effects in hand. You want them in the graveyard. In some ways, I think the Vernal Sylph effects are more important than these effects. So if you don't know what they do, you can discard another Earth Fairy to summon them from your hand, and then you can apply an effect. For Keldeo, you can search a Exchange of the Spirit or a monster that's specifically mentioned in Exchange of the Spirit. And Mudora can place Gravekeeper's Trap. Sometimes you want that. Sometimes you want to place Gravekeeper's Trap, especially against Chillimit, because that's a really good... Actually, I mean, honestly, I think Mudora's... Actually, with Mudora, like, if I open Mudora plus a Vernal Sylph, that's kind of a hard toss of which one I want to use. Because getting Gravekeeper's Trap in rotation means that I can discard cards out of my hand and search Earth Fairies. I can search more Vernal Sylphs, I can search Agito, I can search Kelback. Or more importantly, I can discard Sacred Trees to search Naturia monsters and search Naturia cards. So if you open like a Mudora plus a Vernal Sylph, it's really a toss-up. And like just this by itself, it's kind of hard to say which one you should discard. More importantly though, you want Mudora and Keldeo in the graveyard because they will put things back into your deck. And because Naturia can't really OTK and it wants to go into the grind game, these effects are hugely important. You want to see Mudoras, you want to see Keldeos in the grave and put back your Spring Breezes, or put back your Sacred Trees, or put back like Fenrir's, or even just like, get rid of opponent's cards in the graveyard. That's also very important as well. So with that, those are the main lines. I wouldn't say lines, but certain things you have to consider when you're playing Naturia. Again, Naturia doesn't really have a lot of combos in the true sense of the word because so much of what you do is play on your opponent's turn and you're tailoring your end board to whatever board that they're making. So next thing I want to try doing is I want to try a few test hands to give you a sense of maybe my thought process. What should you do depending on what hand you open? Now, you want to go first with this deck. Unfortunately, Naturia is really not good at going second. It doesn't have a lot of ways to play through established boards without sidecards. which is honestly the biggest weakness of this deck. So we're going to test out a simple hand. Let's see. Here we go. So. Okay. Max C. Ooh, that's not bad. Called by... Okay. This hand is admittedly not that great, but it could get better. So, I think the play is... So this is actually kind of hard, because I kind of want to keep the Max C in hand for my opponent's turn. But I need these Vernal Sylphs. So I think the play here first is we're going to activate the Duck, discard the Max C, and we're going to search an Earth Fairy. So I think the first thing we want to do is we want to search a Agito. Right, because I have Spring Breeze here in hand, so I want to get Nichiri into the graveyard. And then I can bring back an Earth. So you know what? F it. Let's just bring back Max C. Remember Max C? Well, it's kind of hard, depending which one you want to bring back. The Duck's level is kind of awkward. It is a level 3. But Max C's level is even more awkward. It's level 2. So let's, you know what? Let's know. I think when I get back to Max C, because it is a lower level and Camellia is a level 4, if we hit it off of the Agito, then we get to mill. So, then we're going to activate Flourishing Fields, discarding Agito, and we're going to search a Vernal Sylph. So we're going to search the mommy, because we don't want to draw her. And actually, in this board state, we can tribute summon her, because we're going to use this effect. We're going to bring herself back. We don't want to get back the Agito, because if we move the Agito out of the graveyard, the effect will not activate. So now Agito's going to trigger. We're going to mill 5. So we're going to mill 5. Let's see what we get. So we're going to go, okay. Ooh, busted. Oh, there we go. We got the Camellia. Oh, we got the Mole Cricket too. Oh, that's even better. So that was an insane mill. Now what we can do is we can go activate Spring Breeze. Now, depending on how greedy you want to be, we can get back, if we get back Mole Cricket, we can do the whole line, we can do a line into Naturia Beast, but that wastes 2 Spring Breezes. If we get back Camellia, we have a line into Chengye. Or we can go Abyss Dweller. I think the play here is we want to go Camellia, because we're going to go Camellia when we're going to send the Sacred Tree, and we're going to search Spring Breeze. Just in case, right? So, what can we do here? Well, we got a few different options depending on what we're playing against. We have a line into Abyss Dweller right here. We can go Abyss Dweller. We can go Barkion. We can go Barkion, get back the Mole Cricket, sack off the Mole Cricket for another Camellia or something, and then tribute those off for Vera. This is actually kind of tricky. This is kind of a... See, again, this is... I said earlier that, or in the previous video, that there are a lot of different lines, and depending on the matchup, what you want to make varies. Like, if I'm playing against Labyrinth, I want to make Barkion. But if I'm playing against Tearlament, I want Dweller. Or maybe I just want to go into Naturia Beast. In some ways, no, I think that's better. So we're gonna go Spring Breeze. And we're gonna get back the Mole Cricket. Mole Cricket plus Camellia is Naturia Beast. Now Cricket's gonna trigger, we're gonna get him back. And now we can tribute him off at a later time. We can actually tribute off for Camellia right now. We can actually go Barkion. Maybe we actually go Beast Barkion plus this on the field. Kind of a waste. Or we can go this into Camellia, make Dweller, but then we don't get to make Vera. So, yeah, again, there's a lot of diverging lines here. I think if we're going against blind, like in the OCG, I'm expecting to play against Tearlament. I'm expecting a Tearlament deck. So I think what I would do here is I would want to go Mole Cricket for a second Camellia, and then we can overlay these into Dweller, into Abyss Dweller, and then we have a set called by. That's one line. Admittedly, that was not an optimal line. If I could have brought back the Mole Cricket instead and maybe done something a little bit different. But this is also a really good board, a really hard board to deal with. I have a called by. I still have a call. I could have called by any one of their hand traps at any point, and then during my opponent's turn, during my opponent's standby, we're just going to activate Dweller. They can't use effects in the graveyard. I can negate all their spells on the next turn. So what do I get? On the next turn, oh, perfect. I get a Camellia. I can just do the whole thing all over again, and I can make Barkia now. So that was just one test hand with the Vernal Sylphs, and that's what we got. So we're gonna try one more test hand, and we're gonna see where that gets us. Unfortunately, one of the problems with this deck, I will tell you right now, is that it bricks a lot. Or it not bricks a lot, but it has a tendency to brick, and when it bricks horribly. You want to see a mix of Ishizu, Vernal Sylph, and Naturia cards. You're already smashing together 3 engines. Vernal Sylph, Ishizu, fine. Vernal Sylph, Naturia, fine. Ishizu, Naturia, not the greatest. So we're going to try one more test hand, and let's see what we get. Oh, okay. Oh, that's really good. Oh, busted. This hand is cracked. This is an insanely good hand. So the first thing we want to do, summon Fenrir. Get Fenrir on the board. If you don't know what he does, I can special summon it if I control the monster. During my main phase, I can add a shot to the monster from deck to hand. I'll do right now. So he can search himself. And during my when this card declares an attack, or if my opponent activates a monster effect, I can target one face-up card in the field and banish it face down. So, often what you can do in the OCG is you can just like wait on this, because now they know you have a Fenrir waiting. You have a Fenrir waiting if they out this one. But we're not going to do that. We're going to get greedy. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to go normal Mole Cricket. And we're going to go Mole Cricket effect. Summon Camellia. Summon Camellia. And we're going to send Sacred Tree. We're going to add Spring Breeze. Now, here's what we're going to do next. We're going to activate the effect of the duck. We're going to discard him and Kelbeck to search an Earth Fairy. Okay, now why are we doing this now? Because, as I mentioned earlier, the Vernal Sylphs can bring back any Earth monster. So I discard him. I'm going to search... You know what? Let's search Vera. Let's search Vera. Kind of hard to tell what we want to search here. I think, honestly, no. I think we should search this guy. So he's a Foolish Barely for Earth monsters. The reason why we're doing this is because depending on what we mill off of Kelbeck, we might have a pretty good line. We might have some pretty good monsters to bring back. And with the duck, we're going to bring back Mole Cricket. Now, and activate Kelbeck. Kelbeck, mill 5. We're looking to hit Mudoras. We're looking to hit a Keldo. We're looking to hit some Sacred Trees. Okay, so now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! We hit Exchange of the Spirit. Now, we also hit Agido. Now, Agido is going to activate, and we're going to mill 5 more. Okay, that's also insane. Now, the question becomes, because we have Exchange of the Spirit in the graveyard, would we want to mill 5 more, or would we want to mill off the opponent's deck? Depending on the matchup, I would mill 5 more. If it's deck tournament, I would want to mill 5 off of me, or I could choose not to. But depending on the deck, maybe I want to mill 5 off the opponent. Like Labyrinth, sure, mill 5 off the opponent. Or, I don't know what Dragon made. Or Sprite? No, absolutely, mill 5. I'd want them to mill 5. At least in the OCG, because Swap Frog's at 1. So I think, let's say we're not going to push it that much further, and we mill the Sacred Tree. So we're going to trigger the Sacred Tree, and we're going to grab, because, why the heck not? And we can grab Sunflower. I think the play is we can grab... Ooh. I think I want to grab... Yeah, I want to grab another Spring Breeze. This is for next... This is for a few turns later. I want to get these... I want to get these into my hand because this card is insane. If you don't know what it does, please check out the other video. The text would be on screen, the translated text. The main thing about this card is that it's not once per turn. So now... I can go... No, actually... No, maybe not the Spring Breeze. Maybe either the Sunflower or I can search a Stink Bug. Maybe the Stink Bug. Because I want to keep this Fenrir in hand just in case the whole board gets outed. I can start over. Because I've already milled the third Fenrir. So I think, yeah, we'll mill the Stink Bug. Go search the Stink Bug. Why do I want the Stink Bug? Because, no, we don't want the Stink Bug. We want the Sunflower. We want Sunflower. We absolutely want Naturia Sunflower here. Now we're gonna go. Now we're going to synchro off Camellia and the Mole Cricket, and we're gonna make Beast. We're gonna trigger the Mole Cricket, comes back, and then we're gonna activate Vernal Swift of Awakening Forests, discarding it, and the Sunflower. We're gonna mill Vera because we don't want to see because we don't want to draw this card. But now we can bring back another Earth, but we can't bring back the Vera. So I think we should bring back... It doesn't really matter. I think probably we bring back Camellia. So now, and then I think this is already a really solid board. We can just set both Spring Breezes and pass. So now, what does this mean? So we have a targeting face down banish. We have infinite spell negates. We have a revive. We can get back Sunflower for 2 monster negates. We can sack off Mole Cricket for a Stink Bug. Stink Bug can blank a battle phase. And we also have Spring Breeze to dodge. We can dodge impermanence with this. They try to negate the Camellia. We can chain Spring Breeze and we can synchro off Camellia. We can synchro off Beast. Alternatively, which is an even stronger play, if they summon a monster, we can trigger the Camellia, bring back Camellia, and then synchro all of them off into Quirion Gandrax. Alternatively, the other line is when you activate Awakening Forests and you send Vera, you can also bring back a Mudora instead. Bring back a Mudora, a Kelbeck, or maybe a Kelbeck. Maybe a Kelbeck instead of the Camellia. And then reactivate Spring Breeze to get back a Camellia here. Now, why do we do this? Because this line now gives us access to Trishula. Because we can synchro with Cricket, Camellia, and Kelbeck, and we have Trishula. Admittedly, probably want to put the Beast in the EMZ, so we have more space. Sorry, kind of move up a little bit too high. But yeah, that's just some examples of what you can do with Naturia. A lot of what you can do is there's no standard line where you're going to end on this monster, this monster, this monster, this monster, and so many negates. Naturia is flexible enough so that depending on the matchup, you can change the end board. I can control which negates I get. I can control which monsters I put on the board depending on the matchup. So that was just 24 minutes already. Hit the recording button, but that's just a taste of certain Naturia combos. Please, if you have any questions about the deck, do not hesitate to comment down below. I would love to answer any questions you have. I will answer them to the best of my ability. If you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever you do when you like YouTube videos. And that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.